and welcome back to episode 39 of my F1 2016 career mode, episode 9 of my Sauber career mode, guys. And today we are here at the Austrian Grand Prix. We're still sat in P12 with 22 points at the moment, right behind my rival Felipe Massa at this moment. But if you guys are new around here, don't forget to subscribe for more F1 2016 content. I will also leave a link in the little eye at the top right of your screen to the full playlist of this series so far. But yeah, so here we are then, guys, at the Austrian Grand Prix, a track that I don't know really how well it will suit the Sauber. It's also, I found out, very much a a pad track. As you can see, they're also just upgrading the fuel efficiency. But obviously, I'm on a wheel on this game, so it's not as good for me. Obviously, I had AOR a couple of weeks back around here, so obviously we'll have to see how that all went. But as we can see, we also upgraded the chassis weight as well. We made that slightly lighter as well, really helping, try and make this car a lot more balanced, because obviously I've been focusing on the fact that the problem with this car really I found was just the way the car handled on the turning and things. So obviously if I bring the weight down, that means that it'll turn in a lot nicer, and that'll be very, very good. But then moving on straight away into our track acclimatization lap, the simplest lap you can ever do on this game. And I managed to get purple there very, very easily. Only 9 corners around this circuit. So, that wasn't too difficult to do, I won't lie. 300 points and that's purple is pretty damn worrying. But then moving on to my qualifying simulation lap. First lap, we're going to be able to get that as well. This track, although it's probably not as quick on a wheel, but you can be very, very consistent around here, which is kind of what I was hoping for. And then just skipping on to the end of the session, we're going to have just over 300 resource points once again there. I like to keep it over 300 once we've done practice. We might be able to get another upgrade in this race, but obviously we'll have to wait and see about what happens with that then, guys. But obviously I don't really know why it comes up with these session participations when you clearly haven't done them. But still, let's move on then into qualifying for the Austrian Grand Prix. And straight away, obviously, into Q1, coming into the final couple of corners, we've actually opted to go on the ultra softs here. Don't want to risk any super softs and whatnot. But coming up towards the line, we go into 5th place there between Palmer and Button, which actually wasn't a particularly strong lap there, it turns out, in the end. So I had to go out for one final last-ditch attempt on Q1. I think we used the same set of tyres as we had done previously, because we didn't want to use another set that I'd like to think, he get to Q3 on, maybe, but obviously we'll have to wait and see when we move on into Q2. But coming into the final couple of corners here, guys, we're a few tenths up on my previous best, so coming up towards the line, obviously P16 is what we need, and we managed to get back up into P13 there, guys, which comfortably put us into Q2, sorry there, guys. Sebastian Vettel took the pole position in Q1 there. That was actually pretty damn quick from him. Kevin Magnussen, Danny Kvyat, and Marcus Ericsson all make it through, but Fernando Alonso, Felipe Massa, and Carlos Sainz, all fairly big names, not making it through into Q2 there. Felipe Massa tried gambling the Supersofts there, guys, and that did not work out well for him. Obviously, the cars are actually very, very closely bunched on this game. I found out the way the upgrades have been working, a lot of teams are closing in on each other, but we're back into Q2 once again there, guys, so very, very happy with that. But yeah, let's move on then into Q2, speaking about Q2, and coming into the final sector of the lap, we're a few tenths up on my PB. I had to do another second lap in this session as well, just because I didn't feel my first lap was particularly strong, plus I made a couple of little mistakes on it as well. But coming then into the final corner, we are going to set, if I come up towards the line, we are going to go into P7 there, guys, so very, very happy with that. Hoping, that might be able to squeeze us into Q3 with a bit of luck. And looking at the end of the session there, we do manage to get into Q3 there. Very, very narrowly over Nico Hulkenberg. He will not be very happy with that. But we've managed to get into Q3, guys, once again in this Sauber career mode, guys. Lewis Hamilton took the fastest lap there in Q2 with 3 different teams in the top 3. But let's move on then into Q3 here, guys. And I didn't really want to set out too many laps. I wanted to, keep the set of ultra soft tyres in fairly good nick. But coming up towards the line then, guys, what time are we going to do? We are going to set a 1 minute 8 there, I think that is. And we go into P4 quicker than Sergio Perez. And we actually managed to hold on there, guys, to P8 over on the session, beating Sergio Perez, Jenson Button, Valtteri Bottas just ahead of me. And then also we got both Red Bulls, both Mercedes and both Ferraris sort of, walking away with it overall just a little bit at the moment. They've got the performance gap over every other team. But let's move on then, guys, into the Austrian Grand Prix.
Austria, traditional home of many great things. Apple strudel, Mozart, Niki Lauda, and of course, one of the finest high-speed racetracks on the planet. We're right in the thick of the season now, and the championship battle is hotting up. But if there's any race that stands to rip up the form book, it's this one. The Red Bull Ring then, 700 metres above sea level. This tough circuit may only have 9 corners, but they're fast and they're bumpy. It's a true test for any racing driver. We have 2 DRS zones, and watch out for overtakes into turn 2 as the uphill entry helps those trying to be the last of the late breakers steam up the inside. Anthony Davidson joins me to talk you through the action here today at what is quite an unusual racetrack, wouldn't you say, Ant?
Yeah, it's quite an odd layout around here. The thing about Austria is that it's a harder circuit to master than what really meets the eye. On top of that, it's a low grip surface, and that means that your small mistakes end up being punished, and it's very easy to slide wide into the runoff area and lose a huge chunk of time. Luckily, because it's such a short circuit though, you have plenty of opportunities to perfect the lap.
Okay, the run into turn 1 isn't too long, so the pack will be bunched up. Take care.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves of yesterday's qualifying session with a look at the starting grid. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Rosberg, Kimi Raikkonen and Ricciardo, Bottas and Sauber, Perez and Jenson Button, Hülkenberg, Grosjean, Daniel Kvyat and Ericsson, Gutierrez, Magnussen, Fernando Alonso and Felipe Massa, Sainz and Harry Anto, Pascal Wehrlein and Jolyon Palmer rounds off the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
So here we are then, guys, on the grid, ready for the Austrian Grand Prix. P8 overall there in qualifying, a very, very good showing for myself. The team think we need to use a set of the soft tyres to get to the end of the race, as the ultra softs around here really do not last on race pace. They really struggle to get the turn in. With obviously when you're following another car with how little downforce there is around this circuit, it does really struggle to get the turn in. So we're actually going to opt to go for the 2-stop strategy here. Our first 2-stop attempt of the season, going from an ultras to a set of supers to back to a set of ultra soft tyres. But here we are then at the end of the formation lap, guys. But let's move on then into the Austrian Grand Prix. 1 light, 2 light, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And away we go for the Austrian Grand Prix there. Valtteri Bottas next to us gets a very, very good start, as well as Sergio Perez just behind us. He's going to instantly move past us into turn 1, but we're going to try and hold it up the inside through turn 1. Take a lot of curb there, pretty much force him off the circuit there for a short period. We managed to give him the room on the exit the corner, but we move back up into P8 as Valtteri Bottas and Daniel Ricciardo get very, very feisty with each other. We're going to try and have a look up the inside of the pair of them here into turn 2. Are we going to be able to do it? We go 3 wide into the corner there, 3 wide just ahead of us as well, as Nico Rosberg makes a tiny bit of contact with someone else there, but we're going to move up into P6. Can we get past Rosberg for P5 even? Yes, we do. We make 3 positions up there in turn 2 there, and we move up into P5 of the Grand Prix, now just following behind the Ferraris, Max Verstappen, and I think also Lewis Hamilton is leading this Grand Prix. As you can see, he's already got a fair bit of advantage over the rest of the grid now. As you can see, we've got Max Verstappen and Sebastian Vettel, I think, going side by side through turn 4 and turn 5 here. Both Ferraris, hoping they can try and dispatch of Verstappen here, although it does come across like it's probably quite a strong Red Bull track, actually, with just how much high downforce there is needed around this circuit. But still, let's just see then, coming down towards the finish line, we're actually going to opt to make our first pit stop already, guys, in this Grand Prix. Coming in at the end of lap 1 here, we really wanted some clean track just out ahead of us, kind of also gambling, on a safety car here. Austria on this game, a lot of high-speed tracks like Russia, for example, at turn 1 and things. There seems to actually be quite a lot of crashes. So I'm kind of, hoping, we can see a safety car, and hopefully, that'll give us the undercut strategy over the AI. We're going to move on to our set of Supersoft Tyres, though, guys. And now kind of just praying, it's not in our hands anymore. We need to get the other guys to, have some crashes and whatnot. But obviously the pit lane as well here, incredibly, incredibly short. But coming out of the pit lane, obviously, we're down into last place here. But obviously we want to try and catch up the rest of the AI incredibly, incredibly good. The back markers, we should be able to catch up very, very soon. But now moving on towards the end of lap 4, as you can see, Raikkonen bangs in an absolutely beautiful lap. But Lewis Hamilton also, guys, had opted to come onto a set of soft tyres. So he's obviously going to try and go all the way to the end of the Grand Prix from lap 3 onwards. An incredibly, incredibly long stint. If he's able to pull it off, though, that would be very, very impressive. But coming into the final corner, we've actually got a safety car now, guys. And Nico Rosberg is out of the Grand Prix, and Lewis Hamilton must be absolutely ecstatic with that. But Nico Rosberg, what's actually happened to him then, guys, is we're going to try and cycle our way up the grid, looking towards where is Rosberg. He is going to be going 3 wide towards turn 1. So it's a bit like what we saw in Season 1, guys. Rosberg's going to try and go up the inside. So what actually happens then, guys, is he going to try and cut the corner as they go 3 wide into turn 1? 3 different teams, 3 wide. Rosberg's just going to have to completely bail out the corner, hits the sausage curb, gets span off the Ferrari's side pod there, guys. But that hasn't actually caused any damage to him. No idea what's happening. Oh, Force India's just come straight in there, guys. No idea what's happened to him. Both Force Indies in very, very close proximity there. So I don't know whether they've had a coming together. But you can see Nico Rosberg just absolutely pile-drived by Sergio Perez. Let's have a look then. So his teammate's actually gone up the inside. He just completely pays no regard to that. Which I think, yes, they do make a bit of contact there. That's put them both out of shape. Nico Hulkenberg very, very lucky there in the end to actually have made contact with his teammate, which actually spun him out of the crash there, guys. But Perez there, just nothing he can do after his teammate crashed into him. And there we go then, Nico Rosberg out of this Grand Prix, and it's looking even more and more after that's his second DNF and in 3 races, I'm not mistaken. Obviously, he didn't make it to the end of Monaco either. With Lewis Hamilton is at this stage just going to be able to absolutely pull out an advantage over Nico Rosberg in the championship. But far more importantly for us, guys, that means we can make another stop on this lap. We're actually going to come in right behind Kevin Magnussen here. We jumped a couple of cars there, but obviously nothing too much to worry about there. As we come into the pit lane, though, we've got one of these weird pit lane speed limiter glitches where it just refuses to let the car, accelerate at any decent speed. But coming then in towards the end of the safety car period, the safety car coming in the end of this lap, there's just 21 runners left now in this Grand Prix. We're only in P20 at this stage, but we're going to try and stretch to the end of this Grand Prix, guys. And also, my teammate is leading the race at the moment. But here we are then, on the safety car restart, hoping that we can get the jump on Kevin Magnussen up towards turn 1, up the hill, maybe even towards turn 2. We're going to try and focus on getting a brilliant exit at this final corner. We're actually not going to be able to get a particularly good run on Magnussen here. We're going to have a look, see if anyone else is going at the inside. No one else is going for it, but we're actually going to go and make a very, very late move on Kevin Magnussen. They're quite undecided there, but we managed to make the position stick, and I'm into P19 of the Austrian Grand Prix. We go. Next up on my hit list is Romain Grosjean up at the top of the hill, though. We doubt we're going to be able to make a move on that. But everyone's pretty much just parked the bus into the corner there, and we're going to be able to get past 4 or 5 cars there even, and we're going to move up into P16. We've got Jenson Button trying to swing it around my outside in his McLaren Honda, but we've got the slipstream from Esteban Gutierrez, which hopefully should mean we're going to be able to inherit P16 now of the Grand Prix. Everyone just decided that was a car park, but we're now going to throw it up the inside of Gutierrez now. Up into P15 we go now, guys. And that is absolutely incredible to see. Next up on my hit list will be Valtteri Bottas, but we've made up 5 positions in this opening lap after the safety car restart there, guys. And that is absolutely incredible for us. Obviously, we still want to get good points here today. Not too sure how many points we'll be able to score in this Austrian Grand Prix after we've done 2 pit stops already, guys. But should be able to make it comfortably to the end. But now Felipe Massa is coming into the pits. That's completely knobbed up his teammate Valtteri Bottas there, coming through the second to last corner. But now we're going to get an absolutely monumental run on Bottas. A few more drivers have to come into the pits as well. We're going to move up into P13, perhaps P12. If we can get up the inside of Valtteri Bottas into turn 1, we go side by side with him. We squeeze him out on the exit there, guys, and we move up into P12 of the Grand Prix. Next up on my hit list now will be Daniel Ricciardo, as they're all going side by side just up the road from me. But now, as you can see, on lap 10, we're right now behind Daniel Ricciardo. Are we going to go for a late lunge into the next corner? Yes, we do. We move up into P11 of the Grand Prix there, guys. Rio Haryanto now is in the points as well. So will Rio be able to score more points for Mana Racing? Obviously, they did so in the real Grand Prix here. But now Daniel Ricciardo right on my gearbox. Obviously, he doesn't want to let this position go. He obviously wants to still fight for the points here today. But Rio Haryanto now getting a very, very poor exit at the S corner there. But now we're coming down towards the second to last corner. Are we going to be able to go for the move? We're going to have a look up his inside into the second to last corner. And yes, we do. Up into P10 we go. And this has been an absolutely monumental first couple of laps after the safety car restart there, guys. As Kimi Raikkonen also goes fastest there. But now we've got DRS is now enabled as they're going too wide just up the road. I'm going to focus on getting an absolutely monumental exit at turn 1. Guys, they all get held up on each other. We move straight past both Danny Kvyat and Jolyon Palmer there, guys. And that worked to absolute perfection. Next up is Lewis Hamilton on my hit list. And whether we'll be able to go for a dive bomb up into turn 2, we're going to have a look up his inside there, guys. And we actually go for it. And up into P7 we go, guys. That's 12 positions we've made in 3 laps here, guys. This has been an absolutely monumental safety car restart. But Lewis Hamilton now coming absolutely back up against us. We're going to have another look up the inside into the next corner. But Lewis has now turned in too early there, guys. And now we've got the little bit of a weird bug on this game where if someone's turned in on the outside, there is just absolutely 0 turning, guys. And that's put we're back down to P16 there, guys. Lewis Hamilton has completely knobbed that up for the pair of us there. He just decided he was going to turn in wherever he goddamn felt like. And that is not very good for us. We're now back down to P16. So all that hard work for pretty much nothing now, guys. As now moving on, we're going to go back up into P12 of the Grand Prix here. We've got Kevin Magnussen now just up ahead of us now on lap 12. As we've got Lewis Hamilton now right on my gearbox. So I don't really want to let him get back through. after he made such a dick move on me there. I was just turning him far too early, but now I'm going to look on Kevin Magnussen's inside into the second to last corner, the second time we've done so, and we move back past him up into P11, just 1 point, just one place, sorry, now, outside of the points in the Austrian Grand Prix. But a couple more drivers have made their pit stops now, guys, and we're going to move up into P9. Haryanto and Palmer haven't made their pit stops up into that point, so I doubt they'll be scoring points here today. But now moving on to lap 14 here, as you can see, we've got Jenson Button just ahead of us. We're up into P8 now, as one more driver had opted to make their pit stops. So obviously that's meant 4 points at the moment, but obviously we've still got Lewis Hamilton breathing down my neck. The Sauber versus the Mercedes with ultimate AI. It's not going to be too strong for myself, as you can see coming through the next couple of corners. We're pushing the track limits as much as we possibly can here, taking all the curbs where we can. As you can see how badly worn the tyres are as well. But Lewis Hamilton now looking down my inside. Sebastian Vettel looking around my outside there, guys. And we're going to make contact with Hamilton there. He's going to crash into the back of Vettel. But we're now just going to try and focus on getting an absolutely beautiful run at the final corner there. Lewis Hamilton completely bolts his run. But just the power of those two cars is just going to completely romp us. We're going to have a look up the inside 3 wide into turn when we think better of it based on the AI earlier. But make a little bit more contact with Hamilton there. Force him out over the curves there. That's going to slow his run up towards turn 2, but obviously that Mercedes power unit just so quick as we make even more contact with him there, guys. Sebastian Vettel now having a look up my inside, up towards turn 2, which will turn to the outside. We're going to have a look up the inside of Lewis Hamilton there, try and make the position stick. We're going to try and squeeze him out over the curves on the exit there, but that's not going to work out either. We make even more contact with him. His hand has come out of the cockpit there. He's in rage as well. We're now going to have a look up the inside in towards turn 3. Is he going to do what he did last time? We're going to be a bit more cautious this time. Try and make sure we turn him right over the curb. And we move back up into P18 of the Grand Prix, guys. But it is definitely not over yet. Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel now having another look past me, guys. They're going to try and go 3 wide up towards turn 2. We're just going to try and work on getting the undercut. Turning very late. But Sebastian Vettel gets an absolute terrible run out the corner. We're just going to be able to get straight back past him. But Lewis Hamilton has got too good a run at the corner there, guys. And he's going to be able to move up into P8 quite safely now. We're going to have a look for the dive bomb, but we're not going to be able to do it, as we may as well just focus on Sebastian Vettel. But now he's turned in on me as well, doing exactly what Hamilton did earlier, but nowhere near to the same effect there, guys. But we managed to hold on to P9 of the Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel will want to be trying to make the move as quickly as he can. You know, he needs those points as well as I do. Obviously, it's a great chance for him to close in on Nico Rosberg as well, and Lewis Hamilton just to be able to pull away from his Mercedes teammate here. He's already got near enough a 50-point lead, if I'm not mistaken. So to make that even more would be pretty monumental for him. But now Sebastian Vettel looking at my inside into the second to last corner. And he actually managed to get the position there. We're going to try and go for the undercut here. But we completely bottle our run at the final corner there, guys. And unfortunately, that's going to mean that we're not going to be able to get back up into P9 of the Grand Prix there, guys. But now on the second to last lap here, at the end of lap 17, we get a warning for exceeding track limits. But someone else now is actually coming to the pit lane here. So we're actually going to move back up into P9 of the Grand Prix. Valtteri Bottas there, going for a 1-lap dash on the set of the Ultrasoft Tyres. Not too sure what happened to him. But anyway, guys, coming to the end of the Grand Prix now. P9 in the Austrian Grand Prix. Unfortunately, we lost out on a position from our qualifying guys there. But, you know, taking home more valuable points for Sauber F1 team here, guys. You know, very happy with that. 2 more points in the bag. And that is just adding to the championship tally. You know, trying to keep it consistent. Red Bull, I think, now have taken home their first win of the season, being the 4th team to do so after both Ferrari, Mercedes and McLaren Honda have done so. Max Verstappen wins the Austrian Grand Prix there, guys. An incredible race for himself. As we see both Red Bulls on the podium. Obviously, no Mercedes on the podium there, guys, today. Obviously, after they have Nico Rosberg, obviously, at the Grand Prix in that big crash that caused the safety car. But Kimi Raikkonen took home P2 in the end there, guys, not being able to overhaul Max Verstappen. And Daniel Ricciardo rounds out the podium there, guys. So very good result for Red Bull. They'll be able to close in on Ferrari and Mercedes at the top of the standings as they took home 40 points there in the end there, guys. So a very strong result from themselves. Ferrari only being able to take home about 20 and Mercedes only about 6, I think, in the end there. So obviously not too good for them. But Sauber, you know, we took home 2 more valuable points there. Not too sure where my teammate finished in the end. I think he was slightly lower down the order. Obviously after he led, after the safety car restart, where he opted not to pit. But there we go then, guys. Max Verstappen wins the race ahead of Kimi Raikkonen, Daniel Ricciardo. Nico Hulkenberg missed out on the podium once again. You know, we've never seen that before. With Romain Grosjean 5th, Lewis Hamilton ends up in P6 there. So not being able to completely capitalise over his teammates' misfortunes. With Sebastian Vettel 7th, Jenson Button 8th, myself in P9, with Sergio Perez in 10th there. Felipe Massa, neither Williams scoring a point here today. Felipe Massa just missing out, with Pascal Wehrlein up in a very solid P12 for himself. But, you know, we've been able to close in some points. Unfortunately, Haas will have scored a lot of points there, which means, you know, we're obviously in a very much constructors fight with them at the moment. So hoping, they won't have overhauled us, but I don't have too much hope about that at the moment. But having a look then, are we going to look further down the grid? Obviously, we've still got all the back market cars. Where also did Valtteri Bottas end up finishing? My teammate there down in P13, Sainz 14th, Kevin Magnussen 15th, Fernando Alonso in 16th, Daniel Kvyat in 17th, Haryanto 18th, Bottas there in 19th, Julian Palmer 20th, Esteban Gutierrez having a torrid day out in the end, and obviously Nico Rosberg, the only driver not to finish. But Lewis Hamilton now has a 57-point gap over his teammate, with now Sebastian Vettel is within a race win of Nico Rosberg. This is all very, very close between him, Verstappen, and Raikkonen there, guys. Obviously, after Verstappen's win, Romain Grosjean unfortunately gets the jump on both Perez and myself, but my teammate holds on to P15. Over on the standings, guys, not many drivers yet haven't actually scored points left in this season. We've only got both Renaults, I think one Mana and also Carlos Sainz there, guys, as his season is really not just going well at the moment. Obviously, still without scoring points. But we hold on to P7, still just ahead of Haas, guys, at this moment of the season. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.
Intoxicated.